Okay, can you hear me now? Yay. Okay. Oh gosh. So I'm trying to present a cool video. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Y'all just bear with me. Okay, can y'all hear me now? We're just gonna do the regular old degular MacBook Pro mic. Okay. Oh, oh my gosh, the tech stuff. Okay. So let me start over. So happy 6/6 portal. Awesome energy today. I'm gonna share a clip. Hopefully the audio stays copacetic when I share it because it's been giving me some issues. But I've been obsessed with this, like the latest news. There's this viral video that's been going around about these Brazilians swimming, and a dark off-worlder being, alien-looking humanoid figure, comes out of a cave near a waterfall and scares the living daylights out of everybody. And I'm going to play the clip and see what your psychic downloads are, and see if anything resonates that I picked up with my clairvoyance. But I was watching the clip and looking at the being, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've seen this type of being before in my off-world travels astrally, when I'm astral projecting, or in this sleep state when I have a very psychic, vivid dream. I've seen a lot of different beings. And so I'm excited to share this because I did a deep dive research, and I meditated on this. And what I got was this being is a taurine. So kind of like the Taurus bull zodiac symbol. There are beings that they're from the world or dome of Aldebaran. And they're the young. I believe that this figure in the cave is a young taurine, and they're leaner. They have very sleek skin, dark brown skin, They're agile, more agile than their elders. Their bodies are still powerful, built for endurance, combat, and yet they retain great flexibility and speed. They train from an early age in the arts of hunting, warfare, and cosmic knowledge. They're about 9 to 10.5 feet tall, lean, muscular, no excess fat, athletic, and very wiry. Now, the big thing that I got was the like identifier for me that I recognize as being from my travels is the indentation in the center of their skull and their head. And you can see it on this being in the cave near the waterfalls. Their nature is curious, disciplined, quick to learn, often scouts, messengers, warriors, or scholars in training. Their roles as young Taurines undergo rigorous training in body, mind, and spirit, and they serve their clans and cities as protectors, hunters, explorers, students of the ancient knowledge of the dome worlds. Loyal, brave, and inquisitive, they are the future of their people. It says the civilization of Aldebaran. The Taurines are an ancient race allied with the giants and ancestral humans. This I've experienced personally. And they are also very closely related to the Neptunians, who are like green off-worlder beings that are like have gills and underwater abilities. So they would be and keep in mind there's good and bad. There's compromised beings, off-worlder beings of every race. Sometimes trapped with the government, sometimes hybridized and experimented on. So there's good and bad in every single race. The Anunnaki, even the reptilians. A lot of these beings have been hybridized and experimented on in the Antarctica labs. And near the ice walls and things like that. I've seen that remote viewing. But anyway, I just thought this was like so fascinating because I had personal experience and then I recognized the being in this viral video from Brazil that just took place. And yeah, okay, so let's try and anyway, oh yeah, that was my point I was going to make is that the Neptunians have very close ties with the Taurines. They've like formed an alliance. And the Neptunians have these amazing abilities, underwater abilities. They are very aquatic and they are close allies of the Taurines. Now, the Taurines also have the ability to make temples and to build temples is what my guides tell me. And this being doesn't have horns like a bull, like the regular Taurine race, but it has everything else. And clairvoyantly, when I saw this being near the waterfalls in this Brazilian video, I clairvoyantly saw the horns. And that was like my sign. So it's kind of hard to see. It could be AI. I don't think so, just because you can see the splash of the hands and the hands aren't like distorted like normally how AI is. And all the screams of everybody sound pretty legitimate. I mean, everyone is terrified. It's very loud. It's kind of an annoying background noise. But let's see. Okay, let me share. I want to get your thoughts. Let's see. Okay. Okay, that was really short. We'll try again. Okay, did y'all see the video? Yes, they are very loyal protectors. And they're very in close alliance with the Neptunians. Oh shoot, y'all didn't see that? Oh my god. Ah, okay. Let me Here we go. Okay, let's see.
Naik, woi! Naik, wah balik itu naon! Itu naon itu! Woi, naik, 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 naik! Woi, itu naon, woi! Wow, 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 wow! Itu naon, woi! Naik, woi! Naik, wah balik itu naon! Itu naon itu! Woi, naik, 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 naik! Woi, itu naon, woi! Wow, 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 wow! Itu naon, woi! Naik, woi! Naik, wah balik itu naon! Itu naon itu! Woi, naik, 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 naik! Woi, itu naon, woi! Wow, wow, wow! Hey!
Okay, did y'all see that? I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with tech. Yes. I imagine that they are some sort of protectors for the Neptunians. Yes. They're also I whenever I tapped into this guy's energy, he didn't seem like he was going to attack. And if you notice, everybody almost got this intuitive feeling or empathic feeling that something was lurking in the cave and they all started to get out. Now, maybe he came out once before and they spotted him. I don't know because it's such a short clip, but it didn't seem like he had a negative energy. Yeah, it was a guarding energy. It was like, hey, you're in my domain. And I felt immediately psychically that there was probably an underground Stargate or portal or something that he was assigned to like guard. And it didn't see, it looked like he was like, all right, let me go scare these humans because just one look at them is going to get them out of the water. So it was very interesting. And I've seen these beings before. Now, the ones that I saw looked exactly like that, but they were upright on both feet and they had like bull horns. And they are guards of ancient knowledge, cosmic knowledge, and very closely tied to the Neptunians, which are like, they look like fish beings to me. They have gills. I'm sure they're closely related to the mermaid man species, the good ones anyway, because there are some bad ones, right? And then the sirens and all that. There's like a whole spectrum of beings. But I just saw this and thought, I gotta share because the identifying characteristic was you could see the long indentation in his skull, and he was very lean, very muscular. It just looked like he was on assignment. So I feel like, what are your thoughts, guys? He seemed pretty chill, totally chill. Yep, waterfall. Guarding energy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love these kind of videos. Totally. All right, so y'all can put QQQ. It's kind of like whatever goes today. So if y'all have any questions or if you have any more things to add with the video. The nest may not exactly be ET. Could be protecting Earth nest of some sort. Cool either way. Yeah, I feel like something had to do with the water. Like, okay, so I'll share my experience. So I went to my friend. She basically dragged me, like forced me on this trip to Mexico, to Chichen Itzu, and it was in 2024, and it was the year that like it never rains. The year when the day of when the serpent is released energetically. I think it's either a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, but in 2024, it was like the first year it had rained on the day the serpent was released from Chichen Itzu. I hope I'm saying that right. It was the first, like in 200 years or something, that it had rained, and it was quite a magical experience. And we found a cenote right outside that like nobody was at all, and it was a free public cenote, and it was quite magical. And I swam in between two stalagmites. I was like meditating. And then after my meditation, I swam in between two stalagmites in like a darker pool of the cave of the cenote. And all of a sudden, I got kind of spooked because the floor opened up and I could see underground lit up, underwater cities that looked exactly like Atlantis, right? The lost cities. And I could see these beings swimming around. So I had to like grab onto one of the stalagmites and like put my feet to gather myself because I started to get dizzy and I could see dimensions like drop in the floor. And later on, it was a really cool experience, but I'm not gonna lie, it like spooked me out. It was like, I don't know if I've gone into some unknown terrain here. But what I downloaded later was that my DNA, like this is why it's so important for us to travel and sacred sites and expose ourselves to these different frequencies and energies, because our DNA becomes activated, but it also activates natural geographic places that are connected to our human DNA and also starseed DNA. And what I intuited from that experience was something unlocked there because I physically and frequency wise put myself there. And I could see, it was really cool. So when our bodies get into sacred sites, the cenote had more magnesium and silica in it than most natural springs, is what the area had. Like there was a sign that I read, and it said all the minerals that were high in concentration in the cenote, and it was known as very healing, that particular cenote. I wish I remembered the name of it, but there was literally no one there. It was so cool. And anyway, when women, I was about to say when we step into the water, something is activated, and especially when there's a higher mineral content. And so I was picking up with that video that maybe those humans weren't conscious enough of what they were bringing or activating in the water, and he was guarding it. That was my immediate download I got. Eventually, we'll get a good idea of aliens data coming. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't know necessarily. I wouldn't really trust what the government says, because I think the government is steering us towards fear. They want to create a problem and give us a solution. So always use your discernment. That's why it's so important to meditate. And these beings will, like, you will all, just like in the spirit realm, you'll always get a vibe. You have the gift of discernment, and you'll always get a vibe if they have ill intent or if they're curious. This particular being on that video I just saw shared, I just didn't get a bad vibe. I got a guarding vibe. Exactly. Completion. Oh, yeah. Good call. Good catch. thank you. Full body chills. You explained a download I didn't understand. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much. And I don't know if you guys, okay, if you want to watch a really amazing movie, I saw it last night. Downloads everywhere. Third eye was buzzing. The movie is called Begonia. Let me see if I can share the trailer, like, or the breakdown with you. One sec. Let's see. And spoiler alert, if you don't want to know the ending, don't watch this part. Okay.
He was an alien all along? 3 chilling details. Most viewers think Teddy is just a lucky lunatic, but from the beginning, he never doubted his own judgment. First, every piece of alien information he mentions turns out to be accurate. He's the first to say the word Andromedans. That doesn't sound like random paranoia. When Michelle enters Teddy's room, we see jars of preserved organs, clear evidence of long-term investigation. Second, the Jennifer Aniston mask during the kidnapping. That choice feels calculated, a globally recognizable face, too specific to be accidental. It could have been a tactic to confuse their visual recognition system. Third, the kite scene. He watches the kite drifting freely in the sky, unaffected by the wind. He doesn't look obsessed. He looks calm, like he's confirming something. The signal is connected. Michelle is controlling it. After that moment, Teddy is no longer guessing. He is 100% certain Michelle is an alien. The film works hard to frame him as unstable. The shaved head, the ointments, the erratic behavior. He looks like a traumatized conspiracy addict, but the most effective hunters rarely look dangerous. After Michelle returns to her mothership to judge humanity, the outcome may be far darker than salvation. Is she truly a savior or the real demon? What do you think? Did you notice Teddy knew she was an alien?
Okay. Did y'all see that? So it was such a good movie. So good. I encourage you to go watch it. There's so many hidden gems about the food agenda and just truth hidden in plain sight. The thing I found the most fascinating was that the CEOs were all hybrids. And they explained, so Teddy is a guy that has been a victim. His family perished due to the chemical waste and trials and medication trials and pollution from this company. I think it's called Oxalith. And where Emma Stone is the CEO, and she's an Andromedan hybrid. And he kidnaps her, and he's like, take me to your overlord, like on the ship. And she plays dumb the whole movie, like, and coy. And she's like, I'm not an alien, you're mentally ill. And we find out at the end, she teleports and she pops the firmament. And I wanted to share this because I got so many downloads because about a year ago previously, I had a dream. And it was so vivid. I was walking around in a trench coat, and I didn't know I had a backpack that was like trailing along behind me, stuck like in my pants underneath the trench coat. And I was dragging and like bumping it into things and didn't realize. So my higher self normally gives me like visual symbolism, like carrying baggage, things like that. So I'm walking and I'm outside and I go to this outdoor shop. It's like outdoor, indoor. And there are these beautiful sculptures of like blown glass, kind of like in the movie Sweet Home Alabama, where these glass, he made a store with glass that was made out of lightning on the beach. And as we know, lightning is plasma, right? So I was looking at all the beautiful sculptures, glass sculptures that were on display outside. And I asked to see one, and there was a counter, kind of like at a department store, like where you'd go get perfume. There was a counter outside displaying these in glass display cases. And I went up to the salesman and I was like, "Can I see one?" And he handed me a jump drive instead, and I accidentally dropped it. And when I picked it up, the salesman was like, "You broke that. You're going to have to buy it." And I was like, "No, I didn't. What is this anyway?" And so I look at it and he's like, "It's a lens. Look inside the keyhole." And so I look inside of it and I could see that there was like kind of like the firmament, just like Emma Stone popped as she was looking down at the world, at Earth. There was like a convex lens, like glass lens that almost like had been like punctured, like shattered, like the top, as if it was broken. So, and I was like, "How much is this?" And they were like, $357. And I put it back on the counter and I was like, "No, I will not be paying for this." And I just walked off. And this old hag woman kept following me and was like, "You're going to pay for this." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And then I realized they had that backpack trailing behind me. So I snapped it off, threw it away. And I was like making my way on this outdoor like deck, like what do they call them? On the bay side, like pier, like a pier next to the store. And to get away from that woman that was like slowly creeping behind me, she had like a curved back, like everything you would imagine a hag to be, an old hag. And so I was like trying to get away from her. I wasn't scared of her. I was just like, get away from me. So I start walking on the grass instead of the boardwalk, patio thing. And all of it, it's kind of muddy and it's like a ditch. And there are live people stuck in the mud. And I'm like, "Oh my God, oh my God." So I start tiptoeing and kind of like lightly run across and get to the other side. And then suddenly it was a neighborhood in the scene. So when I watched this movie and I saw just how much like humans and the hybrids and just all the off-worlders, how we're kind of all in this together. And that like getting lost in the sauce of conspiracy and hatred and like trauma in our own traumas can be the baggage that holds us back and doesn't let humanity ascend, and they kind of do a reset. That's what the main download I got from the movie. But I encourage you to watch it and get your own take on it. But that's why it's so important to focus on your own self-healing, but also detoxing from chemicals. And Teddy kind of went awry because he was like had a diet of like taquitos and Coca-Cola. And so, the Emma Stone's company was called Oxalith, and oxalates, foods that are high in oxalates are, spinach, greens, that kind of thing. So it was giving you all the kind of spark notes you needed for how to ascend, is what I felt. It was just a fascinating, like such an activating, eye-opening movie. It was just so well done. And it was funny, very sarcastic. So yeah. Let's see. DNA, minerals, crystals, geo area matches something in DNS and open portals like a key. Exactly. Now, also AI the reason it has all this information and can mimic how to do like resumes or mimic how to do professional letters is because it mirrors the human personality. So it needs us to operate. And so, yeah, our DNA codes are absolutely the part that gives AI its sentience, so to speak. So we are the key, for sure. Calcium oxalates can block pineal gland. Yep. Yes, 357, definitely. Definitely, I need to go look that number up. I think I decoded it in my dream journal, but I forget what it was. DNA, minerals, crystals. Oh yeah, I already read that one. So if these places can activate our DNA, likewise, our DNA has an effect on them too. Yes, only the good shall pass. No dodgy human DNA accepted. Right, like, you know, we're still ascending. We're still working it out. And like in the movie, Teddy had a lot of animosity. He had a lot of animosity. And what the twist at the end was Emma Stone was like, I'm an ancient Andromedan. We've been trying to push along humanity to their best versions of themselves, but they get lost in their own trauma, which is absolutely true. Now, the trauma might be caused by the overlords, but the overlords also are the wisdom keepers. So if you think of Earth like a cell and it's kind of working out its viral entities, that's exactly what Earth is doing right now. So it's so important to focus on your own health and like your own self-healing and raising the vibration and like purging those traumas, forgiveness, self-love. That doesn't mean that you have to accept toxic abuse because we're purging that right now. But yeah. It's only I have a strong sense that my intuition tells me that just like trees only talk to the people that are able to communicate and accept that knowledge and wisdom. They're selective about who they talk to. They're selective about what information they share if they're ready for it. Nature and the mountains, the caves, the streams, the waters, they all have a consciousness. And even the wind, I've talked to the wind before, like air, like wind. And she told me her name was Nida, which was really cool. And she had wisdom. And I was like, wow, who knew? But yeah, they will select who is ready for the information they have to give. There's a frequency that they can pick up on, in my opinion, in my experience. Now, I may sound crazy, but I'm just talking starseed lingo. Like I love people that have firsthand knowledge and experiences and are not just spitting out what other new age people are saying. Like, this is my personal experience, and I find synchronicities and codes within what stumbles upon my path. And that's how I wanted to share, so like you can kind of decode the matrix in your own way, because everyone's going to be on their own path and finding their own, information and truth, right? Stop saying you're crazy. That's okay to be a little crazy, I feel. If I'm a little crazy, then I don't want to be normal. You know what I mean? The wind, I love that. Yeah. She wanted to be called Nida. You know what? I always find that like typos are also like downloads, happy accidents. So you might not be far off with DNS. But yeah, too, also in my dream, the whole jump drive thing kind of stuck out to me, like the Epstein files. And like they're trying to digitally compete with the natural stargates with AI. And these data centers, I believe they're trying to recreate stargates that are naturally embedded in the earth all around the world. That's what's going on in Israel and Iran right now. So just stick with the natural stuff, folks. I think that's like the overall theme, right? I'm suddenly struggling with people saying high vibe, etc., but suppress everything. I'm not able to shrug it off like I used to. Like I can feel their suppression. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to kind of like hold space and not have resistance, but also like if it's a vibe that's not resonating with you, then you keep it moving. I don't even waste my time anymore. It's like getting stuck in a rut. I thought of jump drive and paratrooper jumper for some reason. Yeah. Like my dreams always have so many layers and double entendres, like so many meanings layered on top of one another. So I love looking at it from, that's the Libra in me. I love looking at it from like every angle. Yeah. Lots of buzzword charlatans for sure. All right. Let's see. Does anybody have any psychic questions? Put QQQ. I don't know what this means, Steve. Your name's not down. You're not coming in. Oh, I get it. All right. What's your question, Cam? Anybody got any psychic questions? Or just questions in general about off-worlders, aliens, whatever. I'm open to anything. Will I win an upcoming legal case? Oh, yes. So there is some work to be researched, to be uncovered, but the end result will bring you much peace. Documents. So creating a paper trail of proof and correspondence is what I just heard. And take your time with it. I do feel like in the next 17 days, you will gather a lot of paperwork is what I'm slow and steady wins the race for sure. But yeah, the decision will be made in your favor within the next 3 months. But the next 17 days, you'll make a lot of headway in the paper trail is what I'm picking up. And something I'm downloading, I'm hearing from my guides is like, maybe you're like second guessing yourself or fearful of retaliation and change. Don't just go in with a really strong confidence is what I'm getting. Don't back down. Don't let them intimidate you or question yourself. These people make a living off of gaslighting for sure. So yeah, just if you need to go like talk yourself up in the mirror beforehand, do it. Anything, affirmations, anything. All right. Will I move across the country? If so, when? Will she move across the country? Within 21 months. That's very specific. I also feel if you're not in a relationship right now, you'll be moving for a significant other or meeting right upon arrival, or like getting there. So there's some element of romance intertwined with this. It looks like a fire sign will be the object of your desire. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But yes, within 21 months. And I'm going to say it's going to be in the early fall, possibly. Maybe September. Not this September, but next September. I'm going to try and see. Can we get any more information about where? So this move's going to be, it's going to happen like so quickly. It's going to be like a whirlwind is what I'm getting. So trying to control the pieces or being like an Uber planner around this move is kind of going to do you a disservice. So just kind of go with the flow. The universe has it taken care of. Your guides have it taken care of. I'm also getting a father figure energy or grandfather figure on the other side for you from father's side of the family. That says he's taking care of it. He's got all the ins and outs. So don't stress yourself over all the bobs and bits of moving. That's what I'm getting. I'm not really picking up where. I feel like that's kind of like a harder one because I don't know if you're like in America or I'm feeling like you're more like in another country possibly. So it's definitely going to be across the way. That's what I'm picking up. And you'll be fully settled in it starts in September and fully settled in by November. Feeling like it's your home. I hope that helps, Christina. Okay. I heard someone say that our governments have stopped guarding the Antarctic opening to inner Earth, allowing contact. What do you sense about that? Yes, I think that there is a Star Wars, so to speak. I think that taurine being is just the start of it. Because they know that they have to fully disclose. The government has to fully disclose. Now, they're still going to try their shenanigans. They're still going to try and control us with fear. They don't want us to be telepathically activated by these beings. They don't want us to befriend them, the good ones anyway. And because these beings have high-level technology that would help us ascend and the planet ascend. But the reptilians have lost their hold on Earth. And so I actually had a dream about this I had a lot of dreams from a year ago that are happening, just coming into fruition right now. But I had a dream that I went to a lab in Antarctica and everyone was running around frantically. All the lab technicians were running around frantically trying to destroy experimental evidence on DNA. So I believe part of what the reptilians are being like reprimanded for right now is the fact that they went against free will of a lot of the beings and stole DNA and codes that they were not supposed to have access to. That's my first instinctual hunch. The Anakim. So what I know is the Anakim giants are the good giants that have crystal technology that were the allies of the Tartarians. And that the download I just got is that the Anakim giants are the ones maybe that have just taken over the opening to inner earth and the sacred tree. I know that there's like a sacred tree, kind of like in the Avatar movie, you know, that sacred iridescent tree. There's like a wall and a tree I know about that the Anakim, the story of life, talks about. Like I said, I got this all downloaded, like from my astral travels. But it's kind of like the tree in the Avatar movie. And there's like this iridescent living tree of knowledge at the opening of the inner earth. And I believe that the Anakim giants have taken that back, or they have been like selective in guarding it. That's just what I got downloaded. Hope that helps. What do you sense, Sam? Share your thoughts. We're traveling soon to the East Coast, soon to the beach, and kind of start our search for a new home. I live in the Midwest now, but I have lived in Germany before, maybe. Ah, gotcha. Thanks for the feedback. Linda Bennett, will I ever get over this fibromyalgia, maybe caused by dark energy? Yes, and you will become a teacher and healer that helps others with fibromyalgia. So the big thing right now, too, on a collective level is to also, I'm not a doctor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Always consult your doctor. But inflammation, minimizing inflammation with gluten and dairy is always a big one with autoimmune stuff, in my experience. And your body, everybody's DNA is going to be different and have different inflammatory markers and food sensitivities to different things. Like Pacific Islanders and Asians are going to tolerate a much higher diet in grain and rice. Type A blood types are going to do really well with vegan diets. Myself personally, I was vegan for about 2 years, and like I work out so much and dance so much, I need meat. My body was like, my albumin levels were like so low. It was, and then I was like actually gaining weight. Like that was the heaviest that I'd ever been. And I was eating like a leaf of lettuce a day. And so you have to listen to your body, listen to what causes inflammation. And immediately within 20 minutes of eating, you know your body. So start to get to know exactly what causes the fibromyalgia diet-wise first. And then second, I know always supplementing with iron really helps, allegedly. So do your research, talk to your doctor. But I'm seeing, yes, you will beat this. It's going to get a little bit worse, but know that this is divine teaching. So you're going through this like dark tunnel of training so you can help others with it, is what I feel. Good luck. I hope that helps. Magnesium baths also, yep. Or going to a cenote and letting a whole underwater city just like emerge. Just kidding. Linda, I have fibromyalgia. It's been several last years. Yes, copper jewelry. Oh my gosh. Mine's tangled right now. Look, I'll show you. I wear 0 point opal that like is engineered to all the healthy frequencies of each organ, and a 0-point field. And then I wear Tinsor Flower of Life. So I wear this because the outer ring, when it's away from your body and in front of the Flower of Life, it protects and holds your energy for you, because I'm naturally a healer. So I give away my energy and then feel drained. So I wear that as an intention to like hold my good energy and keep it in my auric space. So it's lighttooltechnology.com. I love the Tinsor ring jewelry on there. When I think about real contact and disclosure, I get an overwhelming feeling of excitement, like a family reunion. Yeah, me too. Like we're taking back our home. Because I just feel like there's so many sacred, secretive, magical things here on this earth plane, or I like to call it the earth ship, that have been kept from us. I'm talking about dreams. I should have entitled this dream interpretation, but this was another crazy, awesome dream I had in my astral travels at night. I went and visited the portals in the Grand Canyon. And what I saw, I was like traveling in a ship that was flying. So like one of the old Mayflower sailboat ships, like huge wooden ships, but it was flying. And then all of a sudden we submerged in between. I could tell it was the Grand Canyon just by the sediment rock and the cliffs and the, yeah. And there was all kinds of beings at the opening. It was really cool. And that's, I think, why they don't let us go to the Grand Canyon. I think we're going to get access to all these sacred places once full disclosure happens. And truth be told, you know what's so funny is I find that like you'll find on YouTube the Generation Z, is it? Yeah. I'm like so forgetful today. Sorry, my thyroid's been all over the place. I have a little bit more brain fog than usual, but you'll find that these YouTubers, these influencers, they're starting to like push the envelope and like kind of push the boundaries and go where they are considered trespassing. Like all these young, like fearless YouTubers, like Reckless Ron and the Lego story. I think he's a genius. I think he's an absolute genius with the police corruption. Like he just ninja his way through it all. And it was for a good cause. I know it's a headache because I've dealt with police corruption myself. And it's just constantly like dead end roads of stupidity, quite honestly. But I just find like, and then there's like some YouTubers that like went on to the Epstein Island and like broke into his house and we're looking at all the statues and inside the temples just to like share with other people. And the people that are like breaking into Bohemian Grove, I think more of that's going to happen with the Grand Canyon and sacred sites in Mexico and things like that. So, and they'll share it with us. So I'm looking forward to that. Really excited about that kind of stuff. Yes, look, I have Labrador right. I never can say that. If you're in America, the best kept secret for crystals is Home Goods. They just think these are paperweights and they sell them for like $14.99. And this would be like $200 in a crystal shop, spiritual shop. Although sometimes they have like fake painted amethyst. So you gotta like look out, but they got some good ones at Home Goods and TJ Maxx. I love you know, pillaging through all the stuff because I find some gems. Hi, Slummac. How are you? Let's see if there's any other questions I missed. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've gotten like huge amethyst geodes. They're all in stores right now, but I have a real big obsession and problem with amethyst geodes. And it was like at one point every time I would go to TJ Maxx or Home Goods, they would put out like this huge cathedral, and I would just have to buy it. I love them. Oh, have a good date with your wifey. All right. Well, if there aren't any more questions, I'm going to pop off here. Let me know. I'll wait for a couple more minutes to see if there's any questions. If not, we had a short show today. I hope y'all liked it. Let's see. We just lost our day a few ago. Can you tell me if he was greeted at the bridge? Oh, I'm assuming dog. Yes, I got a yes. And I'm also seeing the number 15. So the date, the 15th, could be significant. Maybe that's a particular day before his passing, a fond memory, or something significant happened on the 15th. But I'm getting drawn to the 15th. Communicating with you. I'm seeing an Ace of Clubs card. So translate that however you see fit. Yes. Yeah, I got that downloaded. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Alrighty, guys. Well, this was just a short, sweet, fun little conspiracy, little pop on. So love you guys. Have a good weekend and happy 6/6 portal.